What's up? What's going on? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Let's get down to the situation, but please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video, y'all. Let's get into it. Let's talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let's talk about Martell Holt and Melody Holt. Okay, it is going down in this situation. So Mel decided to clap back at Martell. And one thing about Martell last live that he did, basically explaining the divorce and things that him and Mel have been going through court. He says to his subscribers and his followers that, I know you ladies are upset, you're bitter, and basically blaming me from what your man did to you. I ain't that man. I didn't do that to you. That's your past trauma. That's your past issue. Don't blame me. And that is the same thing that Arionne Curry says on her Instagram live when she's talking to her subscribers and her followers. She said, she's be saying, don't be hating on me because I'm young or because your husband is cheating on you. Your husband is with somebody else. Your husband did this to you. Don't blame the young girl. So it seems like they have a lot in common. And Martell also says when it comes to Arionne Curry that she's a great parent, a great mother, and his son is doing very well, and he's very proud of the way that she is raising their son because he's potty trained, and he says he has a few accidents and things of that nature, but you already know birds of a feather flock together. Okay, so let's get down to this situation. Let's talk about Mel and her clap back, and let's talk about LaTisha jumping into the situation. But there is a rumor going around that when it comes to Martell, he's basically saying that he has, a videotape of him and his ex-wife basically engaging in pleasurable activities, and he's saying that he can use it. He'll use it against her. I was like, OMG. So I know the court is going to hear about this situation. This is alleged, like this is low down if you're talking about putting, the tape up, because if you want to get back at her, it's really just going to hurt your kids, point blank, period. So that's kind of like, oh Lord. And then moving on from that situation, Melody's basically calling out Martell because Martell is saying that Mel has 23 to 26 different babysitters. And, she's basically saying, how are you calling me out when you have like 19? So what are you talking about? And basically she's calling him bitter, miserable, and a narcissist, and she's using the word. So let's get down to this situation. So we know the new season is starting, or the mid-season is starting in September 10th. And so the Scotts have to get down into the situation, especially when it comes to LaTisha and Marsau. They had to jump in and be on Martell's side instead of staying neutral, basically talking about the fame and the opportunities that they got. You realize people that you've been friends with for years, they really ain't your friends. Like, girl, you talking about yourself? Like, what's going on? Why are you jumping into the situation? This is deep. These are kids involved. So mind your business and worry about your kids and worry about your husband, what he doing and how he doing it, and why is he going to Africa and not inviting you? Okay, so just move on from the situation and mind your business, girl, because if it wasn't for Mel and Martell's shenanigans and the drama and the hurt and the pain that has gone on with the Holts, you wouldn't even be on TV, okay? Because they are the stars of the show and they're getting so much shine right now. The Scotts had to jump in and put their 2 cents in. You know how that go. But in any event, Martell basically said on his Instagram, live, that the $17,000 was his. It was from OWN, or it was $30,000 in the account, and it was a joint account, and he took out money to pay bills. And he said Mel took out money and Blase in a third. But Mel said basically when it comes down to that $17,000, the court ordered Martell to pay back the $17,000 by Friday, and Martell failed to pay back the $17,000. And so the judge ordered for Martell and Mel to go to mediation, and also Mel's lawyers begged her not to drop the $17,000 money that is owed. And Mel said basically she just really wanted to get divorced, so she just let it be. She just let the $17,000 go, and her manager just told her she's gonna make 10 folds. She's gonna make way more than $17,000. So in any event, she let it go. She's calling out Martell saying that he is a liar. It's only because she didn't pursue the $17,000. He would be in default and would have to pay that money back. So y'all tell me what y'all think. And basically, when it comes to Mel, she is calling out Martell on her Instagram Instagram account and saying that he is the one that destroyed, their family. He destroyed everything, and now he wants somebody to pay him back. He thinks somebody owes him when he is the one that made the mistakes. He's the one that stepped out on his wife. He's the one that chose an outsider, which he said is, a peasant, and she's only 17% or 18%, how many ever percent that he said she was. And basically now he is all with his panties in a bunch, okay, because he's feeling a certain type of way. And it also seems like he's trying to control the situation of what she does, how she does it, and trying to call her out. You're doing this, you're doing that. Them kids are well taken care of, point blank, period. You can look at them. They've been places that some kids would never see, and their home and their living situation is absolutely gorgeous. Their parents separating and divorcing, and then having a backlash, come back, and then constantly going back and forth on social media is hurting the children, okay? So that's a problem, and that's the situation. But divorces can be very messy, especially when you have children involved, there's money involved, and also when someone messed up and made a mistake and now they're losing, they want to come after the party that they hurt in the beginning. Okay, so you got all that situation going on. And in any event, Mel said, you lost your family. And she's calling him delusional. She's calling him crazy. She's basically saying he was sitting up in that call crazy, talking all this other stuff. And she's basically saying when it comes to Martell, saying that his children are number one and they always has been number one. She said that is not the case. His children are not top priority. We can go back to 2022 and 2023. We're going to leave them years out. We'll talk about the other years where he did not put his children as a priority. What was priority was punani, okay? That was a priority in his life and what he wanted, okay? I was like, Lord have mercy. And then Mel addressed when Martell basically says that she's losing friends and things of that nature. And she said basically God reveals who the people are in my life, and once he shows you who they are, you believe them, and you believe them when they show you who they are. So therefore she erased some people outside of her life, okay? I'm pretty sure she got more friends in her life other than the people that's on the TV show The Scotts, okay? The Scotts are here to get their paycheck, they're here to get their money. And also when it comes to Destiny, she's out to get her money, okay? Because she's the same one that was broke and couldn't pay her bills, and not the Scotts didn't come through and give her any money to pay her bills. You know who did? Melody. Mel came through and she gave her $7,000 to pay her bills, to pay everything before she gets evicted and her lights and her heat gets shut off. And also Mel throws in that Martell, he's talking about he got so many good friends, he's surrounded by so many good friends and things of that nature, and in his inner circle, how come they ain't helping him pay his utilities, and his utilities bills are getting shut off? Okay, now if you getting your utility bills shut off, that means you got no money. You dead broke and busted, unless you've been overseas for a whole year and you forgot to pay your bills, because usually the utility companies give you some time to run up that bill all the way up, and they'll set up a payment plan. So that means that you had no money to even set up a payment plan. So it seems like, Martell, if this is actually true, you trying to come and get that bread and that butter from Mel, okay? You want to be back home where you were sleeping easy and resting easy. You didn't have to worry about no financial issues, no financial problems, nothing. Life was gravy. But you decided to mess that up. And you gonna tell me you don't got utilities? Like, that's crazy. Mel said his bills done got, his lights, his utility bills, lights and gas got cut off, water, sewage. Like, you gonna tell me you ain't even taking a shower? You ain't got no woman out here paying your bills? Is that why, you spending a whole time over there at Sheree's house? And Martell had to brag, yesterday when he was on Instagram, oh, Sheree's in Miami. Shereé ain't gonna have you for long if you broke like that, okay? If you can't pay your utility bills and the Scotts ain't coming through, to help you out, the Scotts don't do nothing but make fun of you on TV, okay? That's what they do, and that's for sure. And basically Mel says that she is going to, come out here in these streets and she's gonna start swinging, and basically you can start the battle with her, but she is going to win the war. And basically she had grace for so much time, and now she's going to leave grace up to God, because she ain't gonna have no grace when it comes to you, Martell. Okay, especially when you trying to judge me about not having friends, and these friends that you talking about, they know your financial situation and they didn't even come through, and you helped them with the project that they're working on and bragging on that you are not a part of. Okay, but in any event, Mel also says that the judge ordered Martell to go to therapy, and he ain't been to therapy at all. So if the kids was a priority, how come he's not in therapy? Okay, so that's a problem, and that's the situation, point blank, period. So Mel seems like she done had it up to here after Martell went on Instagram and basically was out here running his mouth. And Mel has some issues, and she has a problem with somebody, basically because Mel said that they were filming last week, and Martell slipped up and said, I seen that message about your brother having COVID. And Mel was like, what do you mean my brother having COVID? How do you know about that? So now she's trying to find out how Martell actually seen that text message and how he actually has that information. So Mel saying that he's out here tracking her and recording her, and this is why she keeps on changing her phone number. It sounds like somebody in production showed him the text message, because when Martell was on his Instagram live yesterday, he basically said only time Knox was sick is when he was around his siblings, and they were sick, and then he got sick. Okay, and then it goes back to, it came from Mel's brother. So this is a point that Martell's trying to make, that this is why Mel's brother should not be watching the children. And also Mel pointed out on social media that Martell lets his uncle watches the kids. So why you don't want men watching kids, but your uncle is watching kids, but you don't want Mel's brother to watch kids? So watch the kids. So Mel's basically saying that Martell is a liar, he's homophobic, and he's a liar, he's a narcissist, and he's a criminal. She calls him a criminal, she calls him a thief. We already know his criminal. I don't know why Martell did not get some of his criminal activities expunged off of his record. Okay, So y'all tell me what y'all think.